60,000 migrants have illegally crossed into the Spanish exclave of Ceuta and the northern tip of Africa.
So what had happened is that 60,000 Moroccans and Algerians have showed up at the border, some of them breaching the fence itself, so the entire border fence was opened, and others swimming around the actual fence and then landing into Ceuta itself.
This seems to be a coordinated effort. All of this happened at once. So it wasn't sort of known at all on the Spanish side, but from the Moroccan side, it seems to have been planned very properly, and one big rush happened. Reports since this has happened say 5,000, 10,000, and now over the last 24 hours, it's all the way up to 60,000 migrants that have reached inside of Ceuta.
And these are the official numbers, so what the mainstream media are reporting, so the real numbers might be very, very different. As we all know, it might be a lot higher than that. Just to show you what it looks like when 60,000 people approach your border, let's look at this video. This is exactly what I was talking about. So all of them are moving towards the fence, and at this stage they are just sort of getting into the water under the Moroccan side and then swimming around, and this is the other part. So the actual border fence itself has been breached, and you can see here in the back all of the normal vehicles. They're queuing to get into Spain. This is just a normal land border. So usually you would rock up in your car, you would show up and show your documents and then cross into Spain, but obviously the fence was just opened at this point.
This looks to me like a zombie outbreak, basically. Like World War Z, like one of these types of movies. Yeah. It does look like an actual movie set, but this is the reality. The people that are living in Ceuta, God bless them, about 85,000 people are living inside of the enclave of Ceuta. And now they have to deal with essentially doubling their population over the last 2 days. They are essentially doubling their population, and 60,000 of them are now illegal African migrants that are going to be hanging out around in these areas, on these streets. And they've been doing a lot of nasty stuff from what I've seen now over the last few hours as well on X.
And you might be wondering why the police or the border force aren't doing anything. Well, Ceuta, as Luke just said, it's about 85,000 people, so it's a very small enclave, and they have only 640 police officers there and about the same amount of civil guards. So maybe 1,200 people that are met with 60,000 people.
This is what we've been warning about on this channel now for the last year. We started making these videos around a year ago, and this is exactly the thing that we've been pointing towards that is eventually going to happen. Europe is being taken advantage of, and this is just another example of that. So here we have Ceuta, where it actually is.
In case you're unaware of where Ceuta is actually across the Strait of Gibraltar. So on this side you have Gibraltar and obviously mainland Spain. And then just across the Strait of Gibraltar you have Ceuta here. It's a really, really small area that has been belonging to Portugal and afterwards to Spain since a very, very long time.
Yes, the argument that a lot of leftist people are currently using is that Morocco needs to retake Ceuta, needs to retake Melilla, when in reality, they've been a part of Spain, I think, since probably around the 1500s.
Yeah, they were. First, I believe Portugal occupied it in 1415, and then Spain occupied it later. Obviously, Spain and Portugal have been having their own little wars over the years, and this is what had happened. So a very, very long time, over 500 years, it had belonged to European countries as such. So we have Ceuta, which is at this point, it's the northernmost tip of Morocco, and then we also have Melilla
too,
which is a little bit further east, and both of these enclaves have been experiencing the mass migration. Now, from what I have been seeing, it's 60,000 into Ceuta, which is devastating, and I can't even wrap my head around that number. And then into Melilla, I saw
couple hundred,
maybe 1,000 or so. I'm not entirely sure. There's very little information coming out of Melilla.
But either way, it's a coordinated invasion. Now, I want to be very clear. This is no longer about calling them immigrants, because a lot of people are saying this online, and I fully agree with it. This is not immigration. This is a full-blown invasion of a border, and it's illegal. None of these people are documented. A lot of these people literally discard and get rid of their documents on their way into these places. Not only that, a lot of these people are dying while doing so. So Morocco itself, I just want to be very clear, is not experiencing a war. It's not a war-stricken country. It's not one of these countries like Libya or like a lot of the Middle East currently, where if people are coming over, they can use the excuse that they're currently being bombed or anything like that. Morocco is actually a tourist destination. So keep that in mind.
Surfer resort type of destination for a lot of Europeans go there to go on vacation. So it's not necessarily a bad country.
Now let's have a look at what's actually going on here on X. We have, my God, the Muslim invaders from Morocco are now smashing the graves of the people of Ceuta and throwing pieces of the citizens. So they're actually smashing up the graves, and then they're using pieces of tombstones.
Not of the citizens, but they're throwing it at the citizens.
They're using pieces of tombstones as rocks and throwing them at the locals. Let's have a look here at this video.
If you're wondering if it's an enemy type of invasion, yes, it is.
It's not peaceful, and they're very obviously not looking for a better life. They're just hurling. This is a graveyard.
In Ceuta.
And they're hurling rocks. What are we allowing Europe to become? Oh my God.
And the locals are having to pick up weapons such as bats and rocks just to defend themselves, because the city of Ceuta actually tried to encourage the president Sanchez to declare a national emergency immediately and to deploy the army into the city of Ceuta. But Pedro Sanchez kind of waited 24 hours for no reason at all and left 84,000 people, of which many are children and elderly and women. He left 84,000 people up to fight with 60,000.
And local Spanish people had to resist. So they had to try and resist. And they have been trying to resist, pushing a lot of them back, a lot of the invaders back on the streets, which has resulted in some horrific violence. And I feel so bad for the women and children that live in Ceuta.
It's also that it's starting to look like a civil war. Now, this is obviously after the army was deployed onto the street. You can see a soldier here, but he doesn't really look like he's doing anything. He took his helmet off, and I believe all of the people here in the back look a little bit like they are part of the illegal migrants. So they're not really, I don't know, it doesn't look like they're actually pushing back too much.
And if Europe is anything to go by, the military is going to be deployed against the actual native Europeans, because this is what we've seen time and time again all across Europe. When something happens, a riot happens or a pushback happens against the illegal invaders of Europe, the Europeans are the ones who usually face the blunt force of the actual military against their own people.
And because President Sanchez didn't actually do his decisions in a timely manner or actually react in a harsh way at all, it really looks like there's a civil war starting to break out in Ceuta itself, which is obviously not good for anybody involved. Nobody needs a civil war on European grounds.
It's okay, so you actually have people now, this seems to be an invader himself, walking through the streets of Ceuta with a samurai sword. So where are these people getting these things?
And also we can actually read This is a local of Ceuta itself. And he said, this photo was taken about 250 meters away from my house. I have 2 girls that I've basically had to escort all the way to the port along with my wife, so that the 3 of them could leave for Malaga. So a lot of locals are having to evacuate if they have small children or maybe elderly parents. They have to pop them onto a boat and bring them over to mainland Spain.
So Spanish people are actively fleeing into mainland Spain due to the current violence that's taking onto the streets here. We're living in a clown world, guys. And the fact that we're seeing so many people as well online that are trying to justify this. There's a lot of people that are actually saying this is justified, that these people need to take back what's theirs, basically. It's wild, justifying this level of violence, this level of an invasion. The Spanish people don't deserve what's happening. None of these Spanish people were around taking this little enclave in the 1400s. So please keep that in mind. All of these young, innocent Spanish families that are currently being attacked at the behest of these crazed invaders, it's not on, and it's disgusting.
Let's have a look at the next one. This is actually what Luke already talked about a little bit there beforehand. So again, just to state it, there are 640 police officers fighting this invasion, plus some civil guards, and now the military is deployed as well. But the 640 police officers, instead of fighting the migrants, they are actually going after the locals in Ceuta. They're not going after 50,000, now 60,000 migrants that invaded. They're attacking the local population. Let's have a look at that.
Wild. Whipping them with batons. So their police are attacking them with batons, with force, against the local Spanish people that are worried about the situation.
And these are only a few people that are obviously women as well that are still in Ceuta. I believe the majority of women and children probably left if they had the means to get a ferry ticket, obviously. This is absolute insanity.
It doesn't make sense. Why are the Europeans the ones who need to undergo this? Like, who need to face the guilt? This guy is actually one of the people who's being attacked. He's wrapped in a Spanish flag because he wanted to come out and voice his pride for being Spanish and possibly push back against what's happening, or even just protest against what's happening. And they're met with violence by their own police force.
It's absolute insanity. I can't. This is like just this. Oh, there's
someone on the ground who's actually hurt.
Yeah, a lot of the locals of Ceuta have come out to protest against the current situation and to ask for, I believe, a harder reaction off of the Spanish government, because this is sort of like a soft reaction that the Spanish government has put in place. It's not decisive whatsoever.
It's insane. Can you imagine 60,000 men just entering immediately in the space of 1-2 days into a country anywhere else in the world? That would immediately be treated as this is a land border invasion, and it would be met with military force. If you were to do that anywhere in any country across Asia, even if it was done by Europeans into Africa right now, it would be met with force, military force, and it would be a direct threat against the safety of the women and children and the men of that country or nation that's being invaded. But what we're seeing here in Europe is that it's actually being encouraged by the police, by the military of Spain, and by the president of Spain. It doesn't make sense. Nothing about this makes sense, and it feels like a coordinated attack on Spain, which, by the way, has been ongoing now for a very long time. The demographic shift all across Europe, and Spain being one of the center points of this, and now it's just reached boiling point.
Absolute insanity. And by the way, obviously, this is now the next video. The Moroccan Muslims who have invaded the small Spanish city of Ceuta are now breaking into stores by the hundreds. Police are overwhelmed. Migrants can be seen running from one store to the next, grabbing items and running. Because obviously, these people, there are 60,000 people that don't have a home, that don't have access to clean water, that don't have food, they have no
Have
toilets
literally
to
nothing,
go
yeah.
to do their own business. What are they going to do?
Yeah,
Obviously,
exactly.
this.
So they're looting the stores. So they're going around full on looting everything that they can, which destroys the social fabric of the whole environment for these people that already live there. The regular people, can't go out and just do their shopping or go about their daily life. A lot of these people, I guarantee you, have jobs that they need to be going to. And if you're going to work and this is what's happening, or this is the shop that you work at, your job is probably gone, because these types of shops now are going to forcibly have to close down. If you lose your entire inventory of your store in one day, that is a huge loss, and it's going to close so many businesses in the area. The instability that all of this causes is just wild.
It also looks like it's predominant. Both stores that have been shown right now are small mom and pop shops. They're not big supermarket chains or anything like that. Because I believe the large supermarket chains, they obviously have enough money to put security in place or to protect their shops in some ways.
Yep.
So these are already shops that are on the brink of existence because, sorry to tell you that, I'm sure you know, but Spanish economy isn't necessarily the strongest in recent years, or all of European economy, if we're being honest. But Spanish is obviously part of that as well. From the looks of it, by the way, the police are stopping each and every looter and are trying to take the goods back out of their hands.
They're trying, like, there's police there, there's police on the ground. Some of them are trying, and some of them kind of just seem to have given up. But the numbers of police, you need to keep in mind that they are outnumbered 10-fold, 20-fold, 30-fold. It's such an overwhelming number of migrants that have entered in one day that no matter how many police you have, they would need
100-fold.
100-fold, yeah. Literally, actually, I'm undershooting it. Like, they need 60, 70, 80,000 police on the ground if you are to at least try and make a difference. But this is how bad it is. They have maybe, what is the number of police that you said?
640.
640. It's impossible. They can only stop a very, very small percentage of what's happening. And this could quite literally result in this entire enclave of Spain being overwhelmed and taken over in the next day or two.
Yeah. If it's not already at that point.
Yeah. You can see the locals' reaction. There's a group of women and the Spanish man as well. And they're just standing across the street. Again, they are powerless to this situation. What are you supposed to do if you're a 40-year-old lady that is, trying to go out and get your groceries, and then you're met with 1,500 Africans that are looting on the street? Like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, I believe the majority of people are trying to just stay indoors and just kind of lock themselves away until the situation is solved. But another thing that I was just thinking about there is, with all of these people that are obviously criminals, because if you cross a border illegally,
you've broken the law.
You are a criminal. There's also no way of putting them away.
Yep.
I don't think that Ceuta has a big jail to put 60,000 people in. Like, you can't do anything.
And even if they were to arrest all of these men, it's all military-aged young men, by the way. There's no women and children that are coming across. Just to be very clear, out of all of the videos that we have watched of this so far, there's 1 or 2 women. There's no children. They're all men that are aged between 18 to 35, and all of them are in fighting shape. Even if you put all of them in prison, the taxpayers of Spain are going to be the ones that are funding keeping them locked up. So it's a lose-lose situation here. You need to get all of them and send them back immediately.
The interesting thing in all of these videos is you don't ever see a weapon being used.
Yep.
I think if you were to use a weapon, the situation would look a lot different. I'm not sure how much I can say on YouTube.
Even just firing into the air, letting off some warning shots, these types of things would be so much more effective and at least a scare tactic. So let's see here. We'll open up the next window. In Ceuta, newly arrived migrants are forcing their way into residential houses, trying to squat in other people's houses. So ocupas, this is something that we have covered extensively in our videos all across Spain. Occupation and squatting of houses. It's very common.
Very common. You see 50 to 100 people going in at the same time. Now imagine somebody actually living in that house. Let's just say the house is not unoccupied, that there is a grandmother sitting there and there's this amount of young men coming in.
Yep.
Can you, or even a man, you're not going to do anything. Even if you're a 30-year-old man, you're not going to do anything.
If these guys are coming in all at once into a block of apartments, let's say it could be 6-7 apartments that are filled with young Spanish families, they will be forcefully removed.
Yeah.
And
100%.
there's not a thing they can do.
You're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
And this is, by the way, I know it looks like right now it's only this one house, but this has been happening all over Ceuta.
Yep. Reports coming out on X all across social media. There's a lot of people that have been forcefully removed from their homes and apartments. And we feel like we are obliged to actually report on this because X is the only social media that is really showing what's actually happening at the moment. Everywhere else, heavily censored, not a lot being reported. You are starting to see some mainstream media that is reporting on it because it's so big that they can't ignore it. But typically, a lot of these types of situations, they don't get properly reported, and there needs to be no unfiltered report on these situations because this is something that develops over multiple days, and it's gotten to the point now in Europe where there is no turning back.
Yeah. And the only reason, if we're being honest, the only reason that we know what is happening is private people like you and I taking their phone, making a video, or taking a video,
literally,
and then uploading it to the likes of X.
Independent reporters are so important right now. So this here is probably, we woke up to this morning, and this is kind of the biggest reason why we wanted to actually make this video, is Moroccan migrants have been caught on camera stabbing Spaniards in the streets. So this now has reached the point where it's not just occupying houses, that's already bad. It's not just running around and causing instability or causing fear. It's gotten to the point where they are now trying to kill people. They are trying to actually take the lives of the Spanish people that are living here in Ceuta. I'm going to quickly play it.
I'm going to probably blur the part when it's
Yeah, we
happening.
might have to. So that's kind of all that you really need to see. It's a Moroccan man approaching a Spanish man who's trying to stop what's happening, and he sticks a sharp object. I don't know if it's a knife, I don't know what it is, but he stabs him in the throat, and he immediately falls to the ground, and his life is over. Just like that, super quick, he's gone. His life is gone. He looks to be maybe a 25-year-old man. He's young, and he thought, I'm going to go out and try and defend the place that I was born in, likely, where he's from. I would be doing the same thing if I lived in Ceuta. I would be on the streets right now going after what's happening, and I would be trying to organize together with as many other young men as I possibly could. But this is the outcome. He is no longer with us. And it's beyond heartbreaking.
By the way, that's exactly what is happening on the streets of Ceuta. A lot of the younger male population are going onto the street and are trying to organize somehow to fight back, because they have been just left to their own existence there with 60,000 illegal migrants, which obviously is not a good situation to be in. This guy here is saying, I'm grabbing my scooter to head to work. And I find this. So this is actually a guy just sitting on the back of a scooter going to work.
On his way to work.
Filming the situation, I believe, the day after the invasion had happened. As you can see,
the streets are just filled with these guys. And these are all, look at that playground. For some reason, they always seem to choose playgrounds. I don't know why. Groups, hundreds of these African invaders all throughout the streets, apartment blocks surrounded by these people.
And they're just lingering in the streets. I don't know what they expected that would happen. Did they think that they would just invade and then be handed a job and a house and there you go? Or like they're just lingering around, waiting for something to happen.
And all of them are young men. You can see it right
here.
Tell
me how many women you see in the streets right now.
If you can spot a single female or child, let us know. Young men.
President Sanchez,
everywhere.
President Sanchez is claiming that the majority of these people that did this are women and children, and a lot of them malnourished. So show me the malnourished women.
To the left, young men. To the right, young men. All of them in their 20s. This is all people, in my opinion, that are ready to fight. And I don't think that Europe is ready for that. I don't think that the European people really understand just how bad this is. So you can again see the left and the right all throughout. It's young men.
I saw 2 women on a scooter, but they looked like locals.
Yep. Catastrophic. Really, really catastrophic here. And this video kind of just goes through the entire city. So as you can see, young men on each side, huge groups of young men on each side, and it doesn't stop. It's blowing. It's how on earth can anyone justify this? Like, if it's done in a way legally where they enter into these enclaves and there is a policy that is agreed upon in courts where Spain hands back this part of Morocco to Morocco, or this part of Spain,
I don't think that they should,
to Morocco. It's been there and it's been part of Spain since the 1500s. It's been around and been part of Spain for longer than Morocco has been Morocco, basically. So make it make sense, because it doesn't to me.
Yeah. The next video here, let's read the post. This is very serious. I'm receiving these images of how Moroccan authorities are emptying trucks full of young people near the border with Ceuta. Anyone who doesn't want to see that this is a perfectly orchestrated operation by the regime is simply blind. So this is actually on the Moroccan side, just before crossing the border, basically.
It's like a clown car.
There's a police officer here. He's looking at them coming off of the truck. He's not doing anything.
People are laughing, by the way. So the people are actually laughing while it's happening. Morocco is laughing at Europe. A lot of the Middle East is currently laughing at Europe because we have allowed it to get this bad. And now there's truckfuls more that are coming in because this border is still wide open. There's nothing stopping them. It's a free-for-all.
Also, seeing these types of videos all over X and all over the internet, being in a different part of Morocco, obviously you're going to pick up your things and you're going to go to the border just to cross yourself. We
felt like we had to make this video. We kind of decided that this channel here was going to be mainly focused on us traveling around to a lot of these places, but we currently can't do that at the moment. But we felt like it was an obligation of ours to actually report on this, because this has gotten out of hand, and this is exactly what we've been pointing towards and screaming at, trying to warn other Europeans about now for over a year. And it unfortunately feels like it's gotten to the absolute rock bottom for Europe now, and we needed to show you this and fill you in on what's happening.
Some sources online are claiming that a lot of the migrants are, or the illegal, I don't even know what to call
illegal
them,
invaders.
Yeah, that a lot of them are voluntarily going back to Morocco, but these are only claims, so we don't really know what the situation is in Ceuta at the moment, obviously, because we're not physically there right now.
The reality on the ground seems to be that they are staying and they're hanging around, and there's a lot of people that are currently either losing their life or their life is under threat. And it's terrifying, and I don't know what the future of Europe holds, but either way, we are going to be here to be a voice for what's happening.
To talk as well very, very briefly about how the other European countries are currently reacting to the situation.
Yep.
I believe Italy, Austria and Denmark so far have asked for Spain to be removed out of the Schengen area, because obviously from this point all the way to Germany, France, Italy, whatever it might be, there's not a single border where a document will be checked. So if these people get on a ferry boat in Ceuta, cross the Strait of Gibraltar in about, I believe, 2 hours or something like that, and they get into mainland Spain, it's free for all.
Free for all, they're gone. You can just disappear and go to whatever country they want, and they're going to go to the social welfare states because they have been promised free everything, free money, free house, free cars, and social welfare for the rest of their lives. We need to stop this. And I hope that message is very clear. For now, I want to remind you all that Christ is King.
And God bless you all.
And we'll see you guys in the next video, which is hopefully when we find out that all of these people have been sent home.
Bye.
Bye-bye.